come true this offseason because Klay doesn't have a contract extension. But I think from a player standpoint, when you've won so many games with a particular group and you've only lost one Western Conference series under Steve Kerr, and you believe you lost that series because there was no continuity with the team, then I get why Steph would come out, bang the table, say, I need changes right now. I understand it. Doesn't make it right, but I understand why you would think like that as this segment is presented by Golden State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. Look, we're going to pivot to football in just a second. But Steve Kerr, because he talked after Wednesday saying we may have to look into lineup changes. He joined Willard and Dibs yesterday at 5 o'clock, or what was it, 5:30? But he joined them live from Oklahoma City. And let's just get right into it. Steve Kerr, he was asked about how he may change the starting lineup. Here's Kerr's answer.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know, and I have to feel that. And I talked to the team about that as well. We want to give our guys lots of confidence and lots of rope, but we also need to challenge them and make sure they understand that there's always a guy behind them. So, as a coach, I try to figure out that balance and communicate with the team as best I can and communicate with individuals and get everybody playing at their best level.
From that cut right there, sounds like the starters are going to get a longer leash. Just from my interpretation, it sounds like they're going to get a longer rope. I'm sure a lot of people aren't happy with that. I can see your face right now. You're probably not happy with that. I know a lot of fans who DM me, tweet at me. They're probably not happy with that answer as well.
Well, I would just say that, I understand, loyalty and all those things, but you also have to be realistic, and your team needs a jolt right now. And I get wanting to play the long game, but when you're not in it, like if you were in a different record right now, if you're 13-3 or something like that, or, you had a 5-game cushion, yeah, you have no reason to panic, but like they're not. They need to win. They need to string together a consistent run of wins right now, and I'm not sure how much of a runway that they have. Like if they go another 20 games and they're exactly in the same spot, I don't know, man. I think that they're, to your point of it gets quick early.
Gets late early.
Or late early. That's what it feels like. It just feels like. So, you tell me. You wanted to give 14 games to Andrew Wiggins, which I thought was fair to start the season. I think a lot of people, most reasonable people, thought that was fair. How many more games should they allow these guys to play themselves out?
Well, Andrew Wiggins had the good game against Oklahoma City. He balled out against Sacramento, had a double-double. Then he misses 2 games by slamming his finger into a car door. And Steve Kerr mentioned that in that cut. Guys have to know there's players up behind them that are ready to go. And these spots aren't given. These aren't scholarships. So we're looking at 3 guys. We're looking at Kevon Looney, but we're also looking at Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. And they've got to step up. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. He also said the team's problems. How many games? Look, you can't fall too far behind. Right now, you're out of the box.
I know.
You're not even in the box.
When do you? Not the panic button or whatever. But when do you start to get concerned? Christmas?
Right now. I'm concerned right now. Okay. Personally, I'm concerned.
So, but when is the point of no return for adjustments?
You fall 10 games out. You got to. You fall 5 games. But I honestly, you know what? If I'm coaching and I'm not, and I don't know anything about coaching, this 3-game road trip right here will tell me a lot.
So this is the
you got to shake it up.
Okay.
Oklahoma City tonight, Phoenix on Tuesday, Clippers on Thursday.
And these are hard games, no matter who's in the lineup.
So you know what I'm saying?
Hard.
But I don't. This team, no matter what you do, if you start Moody and Kuminga, and the goal is to win a championship, is that winning you a championship?
We don't know. I don't know. I didn't think they could win, but to be fair, given going into the playoffs the year that they won the championship, I didn't know that they were going to win the championship.
But they had the guys. They had.
Bonte, we didn't see Draymond play for a month.
They had
didn't see Clay play for the last couple of weeks.
Draymond played the last 5 games of the regular season, and they looked down and it was like,
I'm telling you what I felt, and I didn't think that they were a championship
team. But I don't feel like they were a championship team if they start Kuminga and Moody.
Well, I don't.
I don't even know if you're a playoff team if you start them.
I don't know if you're a playoff team right now.
You're not. So you just may not be a playoff team.
But to me, you owe it to yourself to get a look at some of these guys and just see if it works. And you have to. I go to form, right? B. So like, stop going big picture, like the way I would do the evaluations.
Well, it's funny because we talk about Kuminga before that game against the Portland Trailblazers. People were calling the show saying Kuminga's lost. He needs to be traded. And all of a sudden, he has a good stretch. And I'm one of the biggest Kuminga fans out there. He has a good stretch against Portland. Now let's start these guys.
Well, I think Moody's been playing really well
fans
for a while.
have flip-flopped. But not. I'm talking about Kuminga. I'm not talking about Moody. I'm talking about Kuminga.
Kuminga might be a separate story because there's been games where he has looked unplayable, right? Like that, and there are bad matchups, right? I acknowledge that, and so I look at Moody, right, and I'm saying to myself, like, every time Moody's been on the floor in recent memory, he's looked really good and really promising. And to me, he's earned a little more benefit of the doubt. And I think you owe it to yourself to get him out there. He gives me a little more lateral quickness. He gives me a little more juice, a little more pop. I think his three-point shot is really good right now. He's attacking the rim and finishing in traffic pretty well right now.
That.
Right? And he gets his hands on a lot of loose balls.
I
think he brings a lot to the table right now. So I don't have an issue with just seeing if it works.
Now, Steve Kerr mentioned the other night, the goal is to win a championship. The cut we played from last week, the goal is to win a championship. I don't know if you're winning a championship with these guys, with this entire roster. I don't know if it to me, it's not a championship roster right now. All right, but Kerr also mentioned, hold on, I want to play this cut. I want to play this cut real quick because I want to get to football. Steve Kerr talked about the team's problems. Willard and Dibs asked about the team's problems, whether or not it's stemming from a lack of continuity. Here's Steve Kerr's answer.
To me, it all starts with the fact that we haven't gotten that starting group going. When you have continuity with your starting group, it just makes it a lot easier to fill roles off the bench. And I think the bench has been the strong suit of our team this year, besides the play of Steph, obviously. But with the starting group struggling, it's created a lot of cloudiness for us in terms of making decisions and finding the right lineups and getting guys into certain roles. And that's still really the focus, is to, try to help Wiggs and Clay get into rhythm. And, that in turn helps Loon play, his game. And, but we also have to be mindful that at some point, if that's not working, we're going to have to try something else. And that's all part of the season.
At some point, we may have to try something else. What point is that? Is it next week? Is it when they come back home? Because I tell you what, even after the 3-game road trip, Oklahoma City, Phoenix, and the Clippers, so these are going to be awfully tough games to win. They can do it because they've blown leads. We've seen them build leads. They've blown them, which hasn't been the Warrior way in 10 years. But you come back home to play the Brooklyn Nets. And I know the Brooklyn Nets are in the transition period, but they got some players. They've got some players. And they're another young, athletic team. And that's not a gimme game. On the Saturday night at Chase Center, coming off a road trip. And teams struggle when they come off a road trip in that first game at home. So at what point do we get to the point where it's like, shake it up? Are we there now? Are we there now as Warrior fans? Are we ready to shake it up right now? Do you want to wait until OKC? Do you want to wait until Phoenix? Do you want to wait until the Clippers? At one point, because I think you're getting hairy here. We're 21 games in. And if I'm Mike Dunleavy and I'm assessing the situation and you make a change, well, then if you make that change, I want to see what that change looks like for a week or two. And if that change for a week or two doesn't amount to wins, then I got to get on the phone to try to make some moves. You know what I'm saying? I got to make some moves here. I got to break this up. So now I think these next 3 weeks for the Warriors are very important. So we may get to Christmas knowing what this team is after changes, and then you got to make deals.
I think right now, like he's saying, like, oh, they need more continuity and whatever. I would disagree and be like, yeah, no, I think you need I think you need a strategic change here, and it starts with you have to break up the Draymond and Looney combination to start the game. To me, you just have to, and whether that's Dre at the small ball 5, trying out Saric, trying out Kuminga, I don't even know what it is. But you have to break that up. To me, that is a number one starter for me because I need to open the floor up a little more. Right now, Loon just hasn't had a good year. I don't know what it is. Is he taking a step back? Is he just inconsistent? Have teams figured them out? I don't know. But to me, that is a schematic change that I think I would make immediately.
I just wonder, if you do make a change, how long do you stick with the change before you make even bigger decisions?
I think everything's on the table all the time.
because I know this fan base, or at least I know our audience. Kuminga and Moody starts, hypothetically, and they struggle. And they struggle in 25, 27 minutes. I already know what's going to happen with this fan base. You got to stick with the vets. You got to put them back in. You got to do this. You got to, and I'm just like, we don't have any patience whatsoever. So all I ask is if they do make a change, I'll ask our audience, I'm going to beg you guys, please be patient with the youngsters if they do get a chance to start in the next week or two. Allow some patience here because I know how this audience is. They're going to lose a couple games with the youngsters, and it's going to look clunky, and I already know what's going to happen. So I just ask, if you make this change, allow for the patience, please. I'm begging.
So you're telling me that if the team doesn't win, fans will be angry?
Well, that's what I'm trying to be sympathetic with you guys. You guys want change. And then once the change happens, you guys aren't going to be patient with the change.
Well, but that's what people do in sports that's all over the place, right? Like change the quarterback, go to the backup, change this cornerback, go to that guy, change the right tackle. Like we're always looking for switches and changes and substitutes because people want to win.
Well, you're just always going to be unhappy then.
Well, that's sports fans in general.
Well, no, that's lunatics in general. Kerr on Kuminga. It's a very interesting answer.
But let me answer the young guy thing real quick though, because yes, if they do struggle, right? Let's just say hypothetically they do struggle, and you give them appropriate time for some runway. If they do struggle, well, guess what? At least I flipped my card over and I have a feel for what those guys are. And then if I do want to package them in deals or if I don't want to go back to them, at least I will have seen it. And so at that point, at least I could say, hey, I saw it. Because there was a lot of people, whether it's Wiseman or Trey or Joey Bart or whatever, it's like, well, we never saw enough of them. Well, at least we could see enough to be able to make an evaluation. And on some level, I'll be satisfied. I can't speak for everyone.
I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
But there'll always be people upset.
I 100% agree with that. But they played the youngsters last year, and a lot of people lost patience with them and played the blame game. So all I'm saying is this. Once we do this, because it may happen. It may have to happen. If it happens, I'm asking our fans, our roasters, our audience, please be patient with the youngsters because I don't want to take calls saying pull this guy, pull that guy. Because then I'm going to say, I'm going to get angry. Well, not angry. I'm going to get agitated and irritated and say, well, you guys asked for this. Now what? What else do you want?
Brandon Pajemski had a mediocre summer league game, and we had people lining up calls to destroy that pick.
Sad.
So I get your point is well taken.
I wish that's sad. All I'm asking is patience.
You're right.
Can we grant a patience?
But I'm going to tell you the truth. Probably not. Most fans are probably not going to be patient.
And that's pathetic.
It is sad.
That is pathetic.
But isn't that the reality?
No, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, look,
I'm a different fan.
Brock Purdy was great for 15 weeks, and then he had a couple of weeks, and we all lost our minds.
You guys lost your mind.